So for this particular washcloth, I'm going to be using 3 different shades of Hobby Lobby's I Love This Cotton. And I really do enjoy working with this one. Every time I'm in the US, I like to go shopping for some. So I've picked 3, admittedly rather girly colours, and I'm going to change colour every row so you can see how that looks when it's worked up. You're also going to need a 5mm hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry or darning needle for swinging those ends. So to start this, we're going to work our slip knot. And we're going to chain 36. So we're going to have a multiple of 4. So 36 chains to get an 8-inch washcloth. So there is my chain of 36 stitches. So to start us off, we're going to start with the 4th chain from the hook. So we don't count the chain that's on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4th chain from hook. We're going to work 2 double crochets. So that's a double crochet in US terms. If you're in the UK, that is a treble crochet. So there is my chain 3 and my 2 double crochets. They count as 3 stitches. This chain counts as a stitch. So then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip the next 3 chains. And in that 4th chain, we're going to work 3 double crochets. So I'll just quickly take you through how to work a double crochet. Yarn over, insert your hook into that chain to be worked, yarn over and pull through. So now we have 3 loops in our hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, so we're left with 2 loops in our hook, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that is our double crochet completed. So we're going to do that twice more in that same chain. Now what you might find is that your chain space, as mine has done here, stretches a little bit because it pulls from the unused yarn this side and it pulls a bit from the other side as well. As your project relaxes, that will disappear. And then for the repeat across the rest of the row, we're going to follow that pattern. So we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip the next 3 stitches, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into that next chain space. So there's my first double crochet, my second double crochet, and my 3rd double crochet. And we're going to repeat that all the way along, so I'll meet you at the end of this row. So this is my last set of 3 double crochets before the end. So you can see I've got 4 chains left. So I'm going to chain 1, skip the first 3, and in that last chain of the row I'm going to work 3 double crochets. Now I have said I am going to change colour at the end of every row. So to do that properly, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over and pull through. So I've got my 3 loops on my hook. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And then I'm going to change colour before I finish this stitch. So now I'm going to work with the pink. So if I just hold those 2 together, I'll yarn over and I'll pull through, and then I'm going to just chain 1 to tighten that and give the ends a little tug. Now you can see where I've done that chain 1, I've tugged the pink tail quite hard so you can't see that chain 1, so I'm not counting it as anything. Then we're going to turn and we're going to chain 4, which counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. So there's the double crochet, chain 1. And then we're going to skip these stitches, and for this row we're going to be working into the chain 1 spaces. So we'll yarn over, we'll work a double crochet into that chain 1 space, and then we're going to work a spiked double crochet into the second of these 3 skipped chains from the previous row. So we'll yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook into that second chain, and I'm going to make sure that my work goes on top of my hook, because we want to encase the whole thing with our working yarn to stop it creating any flaps. So we'll yarn over and we'll pull through. Then we're going to give our yarn a little bit of a tug to add some extra height. So we're going to tug it to about where you would ordinarily see a single crochet height on the row that we're working. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and then we'll yarn over and pull through the last 2. Now you may find that this creates a little bit of a pull. As long as you've left as long as you give a little bit of a tug at the bottom there to bring it up to height, this will relax. So by the time we've worked a couple of rows, you won't see that pulling anymore, but you have to give it a little bit of a tug when you first do your pull through there, so that there is room for the yarn to relax. If you give it too much room, you're going to end up with these 2 parts of the stitch here. These 2 threads will be loopy and they will catch on everything. If it's too tight, this will not relax, and this is what you're going to get throughout your whole project, which isn't what we're aiming for. And then to finish off this cluster, we're going to work 1 more double crochet into that same chain 1 space. So this is what we're looking like, and you can see that that yarn there is just starting to relax, and I've given that middle stitch a little bit of give, but not too much. Then for the repeat across the row, we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip these 3 double crochets, and we're going to work into this chain 1 space here. So we'll work 1 double crochet and we'll work 1 spiked double crochet into the second of those 3 skipped chain stitches, making sure that we're encasing the whole project, and we'll give it a tug and a little bit of height. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we'll work a double crochet into the same chain 1 space, and we're going to repeat that all the way across. So we'll chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, spiked double crochet into the second of those 3 skipped chains from the row below, remembering to give our yarn a little bit of a tug and some extra height, and then double crochet into that same chain 1 space. And we're going to do that all the way along, so I'll meet you as you get to the end of this row. So here I am about to work the last chain 1 space. So I'll chain 1, double crochet into that last space, spiked double crochet into the second of those 3 skipped chains from the row below, and then double crochet into the chain 1 space. And then for the last stitch we're going to chain 1 and we're going to work a double crochet into the top of this chain 3. Now remember, I am changing colour at the end of every row. You don't have to. So I'll work my first pull through. I'm left with 2 loops on my hook, and I'm just going to change to the white yarn and finish that stitch in the same manner that I did the previous row. And then I'm going to give everything just a little bit of a tug just to tighten it up and turn. And this is what our project is looking like so far. So for row 3, we're going to chain 3, counts as a double crochet, and then we're going to work a spiked double crochet into this center stitch here. So we have our chain 3 that we started with, plus 2 double crochets. So we're not working the chain 3. We're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that center stitch, and as we did on the row below, we're going to make sure we encase our whole project with this yarn we're working with. And we're going to yarn over and pull through and give it a little bit of a height. Just give it a little bit of a tug and finish our double crochet. And then we're going to work a double crochet into the chain 1 space. And then for the repeat, we are going to follow what we did for the row below. So we'll chain 1. We'll work a double crochet into the next chain 1 space. So we're skipping the 3 double crochets from the previous row. Then we're going to work a spiked double crochet into the second of those 3 double crochets from 2 rows below. And then double crochet into that chain 1 space. And we're going to follow that all the way along the row. Remember, don't tug and leave too much height for your spiked double crochets, because what that'll do is it'll create loops here that are going to catch on everything and not be very fun. So we need to be working on our tension and finding the right height for us. Then we're going to chain 1 and we'll double crochet into the next chain 1 space. We'll work a spiked double crochet into the second of those 3 double crochets from the 2 rows below, and then we'll work a double crochet into the chain 1 space, and we're going to do that all the way along, and I will meet you at the end of the row. And then we come to the last chain 1 space of the row. So we're going to chain 1, we're going to double crochet into that chain 1 space, then we're going to work a spiked double crochet into the second of these 3 stitches from 2 rows below, again making sure we encase the yarn around the whole project. And now at this point you can either choose whether to work a double crochet into this chain 1 space, which is absolutely fine, or into the top of the turning chain from the previous row. So I'm going to work into the chain 1 space so you can see. Now because I'm changing yarn colour at the end of every row, I'm going to not complete that stitch with the final yarn over. pick up my yarn and grab the blue. And then work the final pull through and a chain one with the blue and give everything a bit of a tug. And then we will turn. And for the rest of this pattern, we're literally going to be repeating rows 2 and 3 all the way along. So until our washcloth is almost square. When you get to the final row you want to do, stop and come back to the video and I'll show you how to work the last row so that we don't get these big gaps. I'll meet you when you get there. So this is what your washcloth should look like. You can see we're not quite finished though, because we still have these big chunky chain one spaces in that last row that we've worked. So in order to kill two birds with one stone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this last row here, and then I'm going to continue around and work my border at the same time. And I'm going to do that in white. So my border is going to be half double crochet. You can pick any stitch you want to work this one up. It doesn't matter if you want to use a single crochet, a half double crochet or a double crochet. You go ahead and use whatever stitch you feel comfortable with. So I've attached my yarn to that first stitch. You can see I've ended with a row 2. So in each chain one space across, ordinarily we would do a spike double crochet in the second of those 3 stitches from 2 rows below. We're still going to do that, but I'm going to work a half double crochet instead. So I'll yarn over, I'll insert my hook as I would ordinarily into the second of those 3 stitches. Yarn over and pull through, again making sure that my yarn goes all the way over my work so I'm not left with any flappy gaps. And then I'm going to pull my yarn a little bit because we still want to create that spike which also gets rid of the gap, and we'll yarn over and pull through. And then in each of these 3 double crochets I'm going to work 1 half double crochet. And then we get back to this chain one space, and instead of working 3 stitches, I'm literally only going to be working the spiked stitch into this second stitch from 2 rows below. So I'm working the half double crochet, remembering to leave a little bit of give on that stitch. Whoops, I'm doing a half double, not a double. And then I'm going to work a half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And then a spiked half double crochet in the second of those 3 stitches below. Remembering to give my yarn a little tug so I get a little bit of give for the yarn to relax into that spike. And then a half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. And we're going to do that all the way along the row, at which point you should have 33 stitches. You should have the same amount of stitches as what we started with. So I'll meet you when we get to the end of this row, and if you would like to continue around for a border with me, we'll do that in just a second. Oh, you can see there that I've left that one just a little bit too long, so I'm getting a little bit of a loopy stitch there. I'll see if I can fix that when I sew in some ends, see if I can tack it down a little bit. So if you want to continue around and make a border, this stitch here would be our corner stitch. So then I would work another half double crochet, chain 1, and work 2 more half double crochets in that corner stitch, and that should give us a nice corner to work from. And then we're going to half double crochet evenly down the side of the washcloth. So I find that working 2 half double crochets per double crochet stitch works well for me. And we're going to continue that all the way down the side of the row until we reach that last corner space. And when we get there, we're going to work 2 half double crochets, a chain 1 and 2 half double crochets into that same corner stitch. So here I am at the corner stitch. So I'll work 2 half double crochets, chain 1 and 2 half double crochets. And then I'll work a half double crochet in each chain across the bottom. In that last stitch, we'll work 2 half double crochets, chain 1 and 2 half double crochets, and then we will half double crochet evenly up the side of this last side. And then this is the last stitch before that corner space. So I'm going to work 2 half double crochets in that final stitch, and then I will chain 1, and then because I started this round with a half double crochet, I only need 1 more half double crochet to finish that side, and then I can slip stitch to join and fasten it off if I would like to, or you can go around your washcloth once more and create a little bit of a chunkier border. It's entirely up to you what you do. Just remember, if you're doing that, it's the chain 1 spaces in the corner that you want to be working 2 half double crochets, chain 1, 2 half double crochets. I do hope you've enjoyed this video today. Please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links below where I have a link to this scarf pattern. You can see here that actually I changed colour every other row for this one, so you can see how where you change colour really can give your project a different feel. So I do have links for this scarf pattern. It comes in 9 or 10 sizes from age 3 all the way up to men's large. So do check that out. It's a great way to try this stitch out as well in a bigger project, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.